my biggest question is that what's the difference between like a blender, a thinner, and a chunker? Because I keep hearing different things from groomers. I wanted to know which one was which.
Okay, great question. So, first of all, the first thing you can think of is, especially if you're looking online to, you can't play with them or really look at them, is the name. So a thinner is not going to take a whole bunch of hair off, so it's going to have pretty small spacing between the teeth.
Okay.
A chunker is going to have quite a bit of spacing between the teeth because you're chunking hair off. It's like a lawnmower in your hand. The blender, however, is an in-between. So for video purposes, let's move this in between here. So this is going to take a little bit of hair off, our thinner. This is going to take a little bit more hair off, our blender. And this is going to take a bunch of hair off, our chunker.
Okay.
Now, the other way that you can tell the difference, because there's not a whole lot of appearance difference of a blender and a chunker,
Right.
our blender is going to have same kind of divot type teeth
on the edges.
On its edges of the teeth, like our thinner does. Our thinner has little tiny divots.
Right here. I see them.
So if it has divots, that's going to tell you that that side is going to hold the hair. That's what those divots are for.
The divots, basically the hair is supposed to fall in between the groove and it holds it.
So you can basically think of, I always equate it to like Velcro almost. So Velcro has very tiny little hooks that hold so that when you open it, it's like,
yeah, you hear it.
That is essentially what this is doing, is it's holding your hair so you have that hold to be able to know that your cutting blade is not going to slip across that fur. I know if you ever had a dull scissor where you're just grooming along and it's like it's pushing the hair, this is not going to let that hair push.
Okay.
So when you cut with this, and you can even hear it, you're going to get that.
It's grabbing.
You're going to hear it and feel it, kind of grabbing the fur.
Okay.
Now, you're going to get that a little bit less with the blender.
Okay.
And you're not going to get it at all with the chunker.
Okay. Now, with the chunker, you won't get it at all because
there's no divots. Those teeth are cutting.
So both sides of the chunker, you mean both it'll be cutting with?
Yes, both your blades. That's why when you go along and you're cutting with your chunker, you can actually see the teeth marks occasionally where it's because this side is cutting as well as this one. And it's going to take a lot off.
Okay.
Now, with chunkers and thinners both, you have to hear them scrape. These cannot be like your straights or your curves. You have to hear them. If you can't hear them, your blades are not catching it. They're not catching is a bad word because you don't want them to catch. But if they're not scraping, then that means your blades are not touching enough for it to cut the fur, and they're going to fold.
And that's with all three?
All three.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
And the other thing, back to our catching, your shear, if you go like this and it closes, it's way too loose.
Too much tension. Well, it needs more tension then.
Yes, you need to tighten it a click or two with your clicker knob. Awesome. Now, if you are going along and it catches a 1/4 inch from your pivot, it's too loose. That means as you're going along, the blades are allowing it to cross, and that's catching. And it's always going to be a 1/4 inch from the pivot.
And it doesn't close at that point.
And yeah, it'll be stuck like this. Now, there's a way to fix it. Now, if you get a big chunk in it, you will have to send it in to be sharpened. Okay. However, if it's like this, barely push your blades apart and close it. Okay. Put pressure and push out. I put pressure on them. Push outward. While you're opening them, it will push that little divot that you put in here. It will push it out. Okay. Sometimes that will help you to where you can still use it till you can get it to sharpen. But if it's a very deep one, especially if you can see it, it's going to need to be sharpened.
Can I get you to do that demo one more time?
Yeah, perfectly. So if they're stuck like this, take your fingers and push outward, so where you're pushing opposite of the blades. So if you were holding these, you're pushing this one down and this one up. Okay. And what that's going to do is put a space to get past that catch. So see if you can see I'm pushing them apart. That will help you get past the catch. Put pressure pushing them together.
Push them together
while you're opening them. Okay. That will push any excess metal back out over here. And now once you do that, if you have a piece of leather or even a really thick cloth that you can run down that blade without slicing your hand, get that little piece of metal off of there. Because then it won't have a risk of coming back in there either.
All right.
And make sure once you do that, you've tightened them back up and you can work with them.
Awesome.
Now, if that, again, that little catch nit that you put in there is big, the only way to get it out is to sharpen it.
Yeah. Okay, that's just a quick fix until you can get to it.
Yes, and if it's not a very bad divot, like if you went to go like this and you felt it and you're like, oh, and you do it, it very well may not put a big enough divot that you can tell that it's there.
I got one pair that I might have to try that on when I get back in the van.
For sure.